Welcome back to Renegade Discussions, where we discuss all of the nasty shit that goes on social media platforms, such as the ones that we discuss here on this channel. To bring context to this channel, it is to bring awareness to child trafficking, human trafficking, predatory behavior, and all of the bad stuff that goes on the apps and websites that we discuss here. So I would appreciate it if you come across this video to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and share it, most importantly, to bring awareness to the cause. So like I said, tonight we're not going to be talking about an app per se. We're going to be talking about the toxicity that goes on within the gay community and how toxic the gay community has formed over the years. These social media platforms, such as Grindr, Hornet, and Scruff, and etc., you name it, contribute to this toxicity and actually enable this abuse. These apps are basically places where hurt people come to get a band-aid for their wound. They're hoping to meet the right person that will fix all of their problems and make them love themselves or love themselves. And the truth of the matter is, no one's going to cause you to love yourself but you. That really comes down to self-worth. So what you see on these platforms, and before I go any further, I would just like to throw out that I participated in Grindr for years. I was on Grindr for years, so I know all the shit that goes on. Clearly, since I'm discussing it here on this channel, so I'm including myself within this. I have not been on Grindr for the past 3 years though, and I'm going to be telling you guys why in this video. But these apps are basically cesspools where people gather to fix each other's problems, or what they think they can fix each other's problems. A quick hookup, let me go get a quick rebound to get my mind off of somebody else, or let me go try to find another perfect relationship after I got out of a bad one and go to the same place as I was looking before. There's also people on these apps that are aware of what it's all about. They know it's all about sex. And to those people, I have more respect for. Not a lot of people know what they're doing until it's brought to their face, okay? And I was on Grindr for 4 years, and all of the individuals that I encountered came from a turbulent past. And soon, over my personal experiences that I've had with people off the same app, I would learn the same thing. The couples on Grindr that are swingers, now, it's one thing if you can do this and be civil about it, but most of the time, that's not the case. That is not the case at all. Both of the people within these quote-unquote open relationships get on these apps, either with one profile or they're both on the same profile, and they go looking for a third party, voluntarily. Notice how I say voluntarily. So when shit pops off, and all of y'all get to fucking, don't get jealous. But that's exactly what happens. And because someone gets jealous, or because someone gets in their feelings about it, even though they volunteer to do so, they want to retaliate against the third party that they invited into their relationship. And all of a sudden, it's this person's fault. Next, let's discuss the PNP, capital P, capital N, capital P, party and play. The first time that someone ever sent me PNP, I did not know what it meant. So I asked them, and they said it was party and play. Now I know why. Now I know to specify when someone invites me to party and play, nor do I don't even participate in that, first of all. First of all, I don't participate in that. Second, but now I know, because of my experiences, you need to specify when someone says, hey, you want to party? Because that could actually mean, hey, you want to smoke meth and fuck? Smoke meth and fuck. Yes, that is right. That is what PNP knows. If you did not know, then now you do. There's also that leads me into the drug dealing that goes on. And a lot of people that's on Grindr knows that there's actual undercover cops on there. And that's exactly the reason why, because drugs get dealed on these apps. Now, I know I keep on mentioning Grindr, but that's just one of the first ones that come off my head. Like, that's the major one. And that's the one that I'm most familiar with. But it's really all of them. It doesn't matter. It can happen anywhere. Anywhere on these apps, the same way that people traffic humans, they can traffic drugs. Then you have the people that's on there deliberately seeking out individuals to abuse. You know, there's a thing that happens when you're seriously hurt. In life, you experience some type of trauma that lasts with you, such as, I'm throwing out examples, a death of a parent, or, you know, you lost your spouse, or you had a really bad breakup, or you went through a divorce, or you were in a relationship with a previous narcissist, and over time, and trigger warning guys, trigger warning, they have groomed you into being conditioned by other people. Meaning, the way that your ex treated you, if you were in an abusive relationship before, and if you don't take time to heal those issues, and hop into the next relationship, you are setting yourself up to be seriously hurt. And by hurt, I'm not talking about heartbroken. You'll be that, yeah, but you will also be mentally abused, possibly physically abused. Abuse is never okay. Period. No matter what kind it is, mental, physical, emotional, verbal. And these people, they see that and they sense it. It's almost like you carry a scent to attract those people if you don't heal from these issues. That's why it's important to remain strong on these apps. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do, nor to be on them. If you choose to participate in these apps, then that's on you. Personally, like I said before, I don't participate in them anymore. But if you do, then do you. But just be aware of the shit that goes on these platforms and what you are exposing yourself to, especially if you came from something traumatic, immediately traumatic. There's also trafficking that goes on these apps, guys. A lot of people, they don't know what trafficking is. They've heard of the term, but trafficking involves the exchange of either drugs, humans. It's a transaction. People are selling human beings on these apps. And it goes underneath the radar because they're kind of taboo things to talk about, and not a lot of people, with an exception of the gay community, is aware of any of these apps. So it's already condensed to a smaller audience. So whenever you talk about this to, I was about to say normal people, but whenever you talk about this to the majority of people, they're not going to know what you're talking about. A lot of people don't know what Grindr is. They don't know what any of these apps are, because they probably never used them. And this has really nothing, the human trafficking thing has nothing to do with the gay community. It can also go on Tinder. Anyone can be human trafficked. And in particular, bringing the focus back to the toxicity of the gay community, you have these older gay men that, which I have encountered, which prey on younger guys from the age of 18 to 30. They prey on them and they look to seek them out to exploit and manipulate them. They want to exploit and manipulate young people. I know when I was meeting with, whenever I was still on Grindr, I was meeting with guys that were a lot older than me. We had age gaps, and I was in my 20s, and in my late teens, 19, 20 years old, and I was meeting people in their mid 30s, even early 30s. And you just really have to be careful who you meet. I'm not saying every person out there is like that on these apps, but there's a lot of people that are like that. The majority, I retract that, not majority. People on Grindr, I will just say that. People on these apps, you have the people that are just looking to keep it simple, hook up, fuck, no strings attached. Cool. You have the people out there that's looking to make friends with benefits. Cool. You have the people out there that's, it's just a one-time thing for them because their curiosity got the best of them. Even more to ya. But just be aware, like I said before, what goes on. It happens every day, and it can happen to you the same way that it happened to me. It can happen to anybody. Especially if you're not aware of the dirtiness. They don't want you to know this. That's why I'm telling it here on my channel. I'm exposing abusers, manipulators, exploiters, and all of those people on Grindr. And guys, yes, I am passionate. That's just how I talk, because I'm passionate about this subject. And whenever I'm passionate about something, it gets fiery. So, the toxicity of the gay community on all social media platforms in 2022 is a cesspool for them to gather. It's where hurt people come to hurt people. I know I'm not the only one that thinks this, because I've had conversations with individuals in my life and they've expressed the same exact thing. Hell, I've had conversations on Grindr with people that I don't know from Adam, but they were basically saying the same thing that I was. We were sharing our experiences. They said everyone on this app is fucking cuckoo. Another thing that I want to touch on. So you have the straight people that come on Grindr, or these bi-curious guys. Closeted gay men, whatever the hell you want to call them. And so they meet somebody off the app, let's say an openly gay person. And this openly gay person, somehow, some way, they fuck, shit pops off and they get mad. So they're looking to, they learn everything about this person. They got every detail from where they work, where they live. They have a wife, they have kids. Because you open yourself up to this bitch. Not victim shaming. Not victim shaming. They want to out them. I don't agree with outing people. I don't agree if someone is not, if someone's not ready to come out the closet, they should not have to be forced out of the closet. Furthermore, I don't think that, we as openly gay men have the right to take it on ourselves to blast these men without any reason. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some exceptions. For example, I've known people that have contracted HIV because they were swinging around on Grindr. And they were in a heterosexual, straight relationship having down low sex with gay men. I spoke about my experience with my swingers. I was under the impression that he was single, but as soon as I found out that he had a girlfriend, that's why, I was like, oh shit, I chose to participate. Luckily, they were swingers, but that situation, and we were all clean, by the way. I'm clean, she's clean, he's clean, all of us are clean, so there was nothing like that to worry about. Plus, it was all out in the open. But still, let's just say that that wasn't the case, and he went to me, or he went to anybody, let's just say anybody. And he went to anybody, and he contracted something that he could not get rid of, and he took it back to his girlfriend, and now she's affected for the rest of her life. This is an instance where I think that outing, at least to the immediate person, meaning the person that it will affect the most, will be necessary. But besides that, just because you're petty and pissed off that this guy cut you off, this straight guy cut your ass off and left you out in the dust, so you feel the need to go out and expose all of his business on social media at that, you are completely fucked up. Sorry guys, but like I said, whenever I get passionate, I get passionate. The people that think it's right to out straight men without a necessary reason, I don't think that's right. I don't agree with that. I will never agree with that. Now, do I agree with them living on the down low? I think that they should just be honest with who they are, and it would make life a lot more easier, in my opinion. But to take it on myself and affect somebody's life like that, I have no place to do that, especially over some petty shit. Then you have the people that want to, the gay men. Gay men can be very, very, very mean-spirited. Oh my gosh. And I can talk because I'm one of them. They can be very mean-spirited. The gay community, I think that everyone's just turned against each other, and there's a lot of hurt people out there that's experienced trauma in their childhood, whatever it may be. So they want to take it into the real world and start bringing down people of their own community. Gay men that bring down their own kind are evil individuals, in my opinion. Why would you want to bring your own kind down? Aren't we all in this together? Didn't we just get the marriage legalized back in 2016? Look how far we have came. Let's not backtrack and do those steps. You know, it's like two steps forward, one step back. You're bringing down your own kind. You're breaking down people within your own community. You're shaming people of your own community. You're ostracizing people of your own community. You're making people of your own community feel guilty and re-victimized. Like, what is going on? It really just goes to show, guys, that sexuality and sexual preference and, sexual orientation has nothing to do with abusive behavior, has nothing to do with predatorial behavior, because there's gay predators, there's straight predators, there's black predators, there's Latino predators, there's Brazilian, Asian, German, Canadian. It doesn't fucking matter. Black, white, purple. I mean, male, female, transgender, whatever you identify as, at the end of the day, you're a shitty person if you think it's okay to bring down other people, especially for your own amusement, especially to make you feel better. I've known gay people that have been ostracized by, it's going to sound so cliche, but it's like Mean Girls. Really, y'all want to joke about Mean Girls and throw Mean Girl memes out and reference it all the time, but did you actually see what went on in that fucking movie? Sorry, I just hit the camera. Did you actually see what went on in that movie? People were being ostracized, and that's what gay people want to do to each other. If you don't fit in with the crowd, if you don't fit in with our clique, then you're not welcome. If you don't like look like us, if you don't talk like us, if you don't act like us, if you don't cut your hair like us, if you don't dye your hair like us, if you don't get a certain beard trimming as us, if you're not keeping up with all of the pup gear and the latest toys and, all of this fucking superficial shit that should not matter. Because when you die, are you going to take any of that with you? Well, I guess you can if you really want to. But seriously, after you leave this earth, whatever happens after this, are you still going to have any of that? Including your hair, including your beard, including the nice, I don't know, a fucking nice pair of jeans, your nice car. It extends all subjects. None of that shit should matter. That does not give you a reason to ostracize people. Just because someone does not stand out and just because someone stands out and does not look like you does not mean that you need to ostracize them, does not mean that you need to dismiss them, belittle them, make them feel like they're inadequate, if I'm pronouncing that word right. I suck with words. I'll give you guys an example. One time I was at the bar with a friend and a confrontation broke out. And I got myself involved, and he was like, I was telling him that, let me give some context, that way it makes sense, okay? Excuse me. So we were talking about a bar that I went to, that this person was in the area, and he was in the same area, so he should have known about. So I mentioned that to him, right? This is a very minute example, but it's a perfect example. So just because I couldn't remember the bar off the top of my head, he automatically wants to say, oh my gosh, he wants to basically gaslight me. Like, God, can you remember straight? I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. Are you okay, honey? And I was thinking, this little smart ass son of a bitch, you are exactly the type of gay guy that I do not want to be around, that I do not want to associate with. I want nothing to do with you, fucker, because you are evil and mean-spirited. Mind you guys, this individual in question was in a relationship with a dude. He was in and out of relationships. And yes, I'm talking about him. I'm not mentioning his name, and even if I was going to change it, so whatever. But he was in a relationship with a dude, and he was always on and off with people, hopping in from different relationships. And he was showing pictures of his boyfriend at the bar. And I want to say this with as much respect as possible, but whenever he was showing pictures of his boyfriend at the bar, it was clear that his boyfriend had a disability. He suffered from Crohn's disease. And he was showing all of his naked pictures at the bar, like, oh, look how sexy my man is, and look at what we got on last night, and look how big his dick is, and I didn't look at the pictures, but I saw him showing the pictures to other people, and I was just, I just looked at him with disgust. I'm like, and furthermore, later on, it turned out that this individual was just dating the guy that had Crohn's disease for, he worked at an airline company, so this individual wanted a job at the airline company. And after he got the job, he dumped him. So the piece of shit dumped him after exploiting him. And then he was also, after he just got done showing pictures, he then went into the conversation about how annoying his boyfriend actually is. And again, I was just sitting back and observing. This happened prior to us getting into it. This happened prior to us actually, having that confrontation. Because after he said that shit to me, I went the fuck off on him. I was like, I called him out straight up. I was like, you are straight up gaslighting right now. You were trying to make me feel like I'm questioning myself. I was on the phone trying to find this place, and he was still talking to me like I was crazy. So, and then you'll have the people that say, oh, well, you're being too sensitive. And those are manipulators too, in my opinion. Again, it comes back to people knowing and sensing that you've been through something, and they can tell. It's almost like they view you as a robot. But yeah, guys, that was he was that individual. I'm not going to talk anymore about him because he was just very nasty. But that just serves as an example. He just serves as an example. Let me take a drink here. Of how nasty gay people can be. For the ones that are not familiar with how the gay community operates, this is pretty much what it's became. What I've observed, I'm not saying that's the truth, but from what I've observed, it seems like the majority of gay men are mean-spirited, automatically defensive, or I don't know what's going on. And then oh, I'm going to get so much hate on this video. Again, I have to call it out. To my thin guys out there, my thin men, the ones of us that don't have the biggest muscles, the ones of us that's always been thin, that's had a high metabolism, and we can't help the way that we look. The same way that these fat asses that shame us and claim, oh, you think that you're all of that because you're skinny and you're toned, and you just think you're just so full of yourself because of this, and this is what they're thinking in their mind, but in actuality, it's their own insecurities of how they fucking look. Again, they want to find every reason to tear you down and to tear us down. But I'm like, hey, bitch, listen, it's not my problem that you're insecure and that I love the way I look and that I'm comfortable with my body, unlike what you can say. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, but don't be projecting that shit onto me. That's your conception that you came up with in your head. That's your crazy idea. I've met some really sweet, heavier gay guys, and I can actually kick it with them. And then I've met the kind where I cannot fucking stand to be around them because they want to throw, and I've tried. It's not like that I'm completely turned off against them. I've tried to be friends with these people, but whenever I tried to be friends with these people, they just couldn't get over their own insecurities. And I'm talking about the heavier set people, the fat asses out there. And yes, I'm calling you a fat ass because that's the way that you're acting. You're fucking ugly. You're ugly. Your energy is ugly. You're rotten from the inside because you cannot get over your own insecurities, so you have to project them onto people that in your mind looks better than you. So don't try to make it seem like it's our fault. Like every gay thin person that you meet, skinny guys, is going to be stuck up bitches. Yeah, they exist, but not every one of us are like that. Again, I've met sweet, heavier gay guys, and then I met some that are complete ass wipes. It goes both ways on the spectrum. So guys, I have talked long enough in this video. I may make a part 2, and I am going to make more videos, most definitely. I just don't know when. But I do want to make videos discussing the topics that were brought up tonight individually. So yeah, but this has been the toxicity of the gay community. This is what goes on. And my question is, when is it going to change? Probably never. But the most we can do is be kind to each other. It costs nothing to be kind to each other. And if you cannot be kind to each other, then simply do not say anything at all. Again, this is Renegade Discussions. Thank you for watching if you have tuned in this far, and make sure you share the video to bring awareness to the cause. I will catch you in my next video. Peace.